Hi, I'm Dr. Geneva. I bring you greetings from the Michigan Association of Female Entrepreneurs in Detroit, Michigan, headed by the awesome Tanya McNeil Worthy. My colleagues are there with you in Bangkok. I'm coming to you via video. I'd like to express my appreciation to Tomorrow People organization for having this phenomenal forum, and it's my honor to be part of the 10th annual Women's Leadership and Empowerment Conference. I wish I were there with all you researchers and educators and academicians and public policy makers and students, figuring out ways to increase the empowerment of women. It's a terrific forum to stimulate conversation and to do great networking and to form partnerships. My topic today, what I'd like to talk to you about is older women breaking forth as unfamiliar power sensations to live the vibrant life. So you may be asking, well, why is a topic like that important? Well, women are living longer and they're growing in influence. And that has a tremendous impact on family, finance, business, and work in the United States and around the world. And so those of us in education and research and others who are interested in how women lead and how they are empowered should be interested in what women, particularly women over 50, are becoming and wanting. Yeah, you know, becoming and wanting. I faced that same question several years ago, and I found my answer in a dash. I was faced with the deaths of three of the most important people in my life: my mom, my dad, and my husband, all within 18 months. And I found myself writing obituaries that I had, I'd never done that before. And I discovered as I was writing them that what these important people to me had in common was the day they were born and the day they died. But what was unique and different was what was represented by that horizontal stroke, that dash, that talked about how their lives were meaningful, how they impacted others, how they found wonderfulness in the life they lived. And I found myself saying, hey, I've got to come out of my pit, come out of my tragedy, my grief, and begin to reimagine myself, reinvent myself so that I make sure that my life continues to have meaning and in fact grows in meaning. And I found that other women, older women, women who were over 50, were feeling the same way as me. So after 40 plus years in the nonprofit world, running the United Way, raising millions of dollars for community issues, getting my doctorate in educational leadership, I transitioned from the nonprofit world into becoming an entrepreneur, reinventing myself completely. And my business, Dr. Geneva Speaks, helps women reimagine their next moves. And for me, that reimagining was so important and meaningful. Today, as you're hearing me give this video, I'll be celebrating my 70th birthday. And so I've had a chance to experience getting older myself, as well as now in a business where I help women design their own life. I'm called the Vibrant Life Architect. I have a podcast where I talk to women influencers, and I write and I blog and I interview and I coach women. And I'm here to share with you what I've learned about how women are reinventing aging. So what we're going to cover today is talking about some of that change that's occurring, and how women lean into and are creating that change, the impact and the implications of women over 50 reimagining themselves, becoming all they can be, and growing older and living longer. And finally, I'll share with you some insights that I have from just hundreds of women that I've talked to. I believe that older women have this fearlessness, where they're no longer allowing looks or aging to define their next moves. They're showing up. So let's look at that for a moment. The world's older population continues to grow at an unprecedented rate, and the number of older persons is expected to double by 2050, when it's projected to reach nearly 2.1 billion people. And that's what the United Nations says. And today, over 8% of people worldwide are age 65 and over. So we're beginning to see in the workplace, for example, different generations working side by side, the young and the old. And all of this brings about a need to develop a culture of learning and respect for what each of us in these generations, these different generations, bring to the work experience. And it also requires us to develop solutions that support new ways of work. And so what about older women? And I define older women as those women over 50. And older women are making up a significant portion of the world's population, and their numbers are growing. The number of women aged 60 and over will increase from about 336 million in 2000 to just over 1 billion in 2050. And women outnumber men in older age groups, and this imbalance increases with age. Now, the World Health Organization tells us that these changes in age structure of the US population, as well as globally, will have implications for finances, healthcare services, and a myriad of other things. And those who provide services, businesses, public policy makers really need to understand the influence and impact that this growing older population will have on services, on the structure of the family, and the landscape of the United States and the world. And so changing the conversation about what it means to get to be older, that's what women are doing. And I love this quote by AARP National President Joanne Jenkins, who says that we want to give people the encouragement to embrace their age and not be limited by it. So women of Various ages, variety of ages, particularly those over 50, are defying aging. And particularly in the United States, we see it. But I think we're seeing it all across the world because aging for women is changing. Women are appearing, you see them more and more in the media across the globe. Their faces are shining brightly on TV ads and magazine covers and headlines, and they're all over social media challenges. In the United States, for example, Maxine Waters, who's 80 years old, is still serving vibrantly as the U.S. representative for California's 43rd congressional district. And Nancy Pelosi is the 52nd Speaker of the House at 78. And Susan Zirinsky at 66 just got named as the head of CBS News. And she'll be taking over that position, a position that before only men held. The majority of women on Fortune's U.S. and international list of the most powerful women are over 50. Yes, these women have choices and challenges, a mixture of old and new challenges. They do have medical issues because, in some cases, health is starting to become a challenge. And then they're also taking better care of themselves. They have financial issues. Yes, perhaps that pension isn't as significant as they had thought it would be in terms of, being enough. But yet they're looking at ways to become more financially independent. The bereavement, unexpectedly, your partner dies, like in my situation, and you now are faced with having to deal with finances alone for the first time. And aging parents, many women who are over 50 are still taking care of aging parents who used to be independent, and sometimes they still have the kids in the house. However, kids now, their children are beginning to reach adulthood, and they do start to understand what adulthood is. And sometimes they can see, oh, now I know what mom was talking about, or I understand where my parents are coming from. So sometimes the relationships with children become better. And then women have more time now that their children are growing and perhaps out the house. So they have time to spend more, on themselves or take those girlfriend trips. So there's this combination of old and new challenges, and also this whole phenomena of reinvention. That is where these incredible women are taking on new challenges, new careers, like myself, starting, a totally new career from a nonprofit world to now a profit, entrepreneur, businesswoman. Who'd have ever thunk it? But many, many women like me are making the leap, and they're reinventing themselves, taking on careers, starting businesses, taking on leadership positions in government, business, media, and politics. And they have this renewed confidence, and they're eating better. They're looking more after their bodies and their life. And it's also a time of self-reflection. And so all of this defying aging, the old and new challenges, the reinvention have implications for all of us, how we live, work, and play, because women over 50 will, in fact, have an impact on what we do and how we do it. So I asked women to share with me a number of insights, and I did it because of one of the things that Ari Cohen says. And he says that older people, if they're looking great and doing amazing things, That's more the norm now. And so if you're aging and in style and staying vital and vibrant and active, why not share that with the world? So I got some insights from the women who are older, plus 50, over 50, who are influencers. And they shared with me, here are some of the insights. The first, live, laugh, love fully. J. Walter Thompson Innovation Group says that 50 plus women are more outspoken than they used to be, enjoy life now more than now that they're older, and are making more of an effort to do what they've always dreamed on doing. And so that really, says that, as we're dealing with women over 50, that they are going to want to do their thing. They're going to want to laugh a lot. They're going to want to live. They're going to want to experience different things. And so we have to know that they are going to take life to the fullest possible way. Another insight is that women over 50 want to be whatever they want to be because they feel they've earned it. I read an affirmation the other day that said, I am creating my life exactly as I want it. And I thought, well, what a powerful place to be. And that's the space we're finding many women over 50 are in. And so they're seeing themselves as doing their own thing, as creating, as imagining and creating their own thing. And that will have an impact on the workforce, on business, on family life, and who they are. Write that book. Now, why is that on the list? Well, it's on the list because if you've lived a half a century or more, you got a lot of unique experiences. And there's wisdom, there's knowledge, and women plus 50 know what they know. And we really owe it to ourselves to find value in that and take advantage of that wisdom. They've done business, they've been in the classroom, they've been teachers, they've been educators, they've been out there in the world of work, they've lived family life, they've raised children. They know a lot. And so taking that wisdom and understanding and working side by side, that can give us a whole lot of value and can help us solve problems and find solutions to problems. So write that book. Chocolate. Now, the women I talked to, most of them said to me, Dr. Geneva, you've got to have eaten chocolate on your list. And I think it really has more to do with being symbolic about indulgence, and how, popping that piece of chocolate in your mouth is so good. You just get that image of it and that sensation when of course you do it. At the same time, women over 50 are very clear about, they know their bodies. They understand the changes their bodies are going through, and they know they have to take even better care of themselves. And that taking care of themselves, healthy diet, exercising, getting good sleep, is not mutually exclusive from indulging in some good chocolate. Pay off your debts. What women over 50 are saying to me is that they intend to be financially independent. And if they didn't know about money management before, they feel it's a priority to learn about it now. And not only learn about it, but to do it. And so as they run businesses, as they acquire wealth, managing their money and financial independence, wealth management, all of that means a lot to women over 50. And then finally, women who are influencers and are above the age of 50 tell me that one of the most important things that they can and believe in doing is giving beyond themselves. They tell me that they understand very clearly that the resources that you have definitely determine how you live your life. And they recognize the schism between women who have resources and wealth and money and financial independence, between them and women who are poor, who don't have access, who are living without resources. And women who are influencers, they really want to give back and find ways that they can help, particularly women, cross over that schism, get opportunity, have access to a better life. So this whole notion of finding meaning in giving is very important to women over 50. So those are some of the insights that they've shared with me. I want to thank you for the opportunity to be able to come to you and just share what I've observed and learned about aging and aging for women, and how aging women are changing the conversation about what it means to grow older. And these insights that women talk about and share are going to have a tremendous impact on everything we do, because these women are becoming the majority in terms of the population, and their influence will be felt. So I appreciate you listening, and I hope that you talk about it at the conference, and that you think about the impact that women are having, particularly women who are who've lived a half a century or more. Join me in the conversation. drgenevaspeaks.com. I've got a podcast, Ignite to Impact, where I talk with women influencers who share their secrets, their tips, their resources, and help us understand the impact that this aging phenomena is having. I want to leave you with one of my favorite quotes from one of my favorite people in history, Mary McLeod Bethune, who said, "Next to God, we're indebted to women, first for life itself, and then for making life worth living." Thank you. Enjoy the conference.